You ever feel just completely stuck? Like you're standing on one side of this huge canyon, and the life you really, desperately want is way over on the other side, and you just know that the person you are today simply can't make that jump. Well, what we're going to talk about today is how to build that bridge. It's about the art of intentionally and sometimes radically transforming yourself.
And that, right there, is the heart of it all, isn't it? It's an idea that's kind of terrifying, but also completely liberating when you think about it. The skills, the habits, the entire identity that got you to this exact point in your life, they've hit their ceiling. To go any further, something has to fundamentally change.
Okay, so if the old you isn't going to cut it, how in the world do you build the new you? Where does a journey like that even begin? Well, it usually doesn't start with some big, glorious leap. It almost always starts with a pretty painful realization.
Right. So before we can even think about rebuilding, we have to get brutally honest with ourselves about why we just can't stay where we are. Because the real, lasting motivation for change, it doesn't come from some inspiring quote. It comes from the deep, nagging discomfort of staying exactly the same.
This really breaks down the core choice we all have to make. Are you going to be the architect of your life, or are you just going to be a passive observer? See, on the one hand, you can lead your life. That means you're intentional, you're maximizing every opportunity you get. The alternative is to just accept your life. Let things happen to you. And that, my friend, is a surefire guarantee you'll never see what you're truly capable of.
And here's the really hard truth we all have to face. The fear and the discomfort of making a big change, that's temporary. But you know what's not? The pain of regret. That can last a lifetime. I mean, imagine ending up on your deathbed and realizing you let fear and a bunch of excuses call all the shots for your entire life. That is the real failure we have to avoid at all costs.
Okay, so we know we have to change. But the process itself, man, it can feel like you're completely falling apart. This next idea is all about reframing that whole experience. It's not destruction. Think of it as deconstruction. You're taking things apart to build something better.
This, right here, is the crucial mindset shift. That feeling of falling apart, that's actually you being restructured. That deep, awful discomfort, that's just the empty space between your old identity and the new one you're building. It is not failure, it's the messy but totally necessary work of laying a brand new foundation.
So, what if we just completely change the question we ask ourselves? Instead of getting frustrated and thinking, why isn't this working yet? What if we got curious? What if we asked, what is this phase trying to build in me? All of a sudden, the struggle isn't a roadblock anymore. It's a classroom.
All right, having the right mindset is huge for sure, but it's totally useless if you don't do anything with it. And that brings us to the engine of all transformation, taking deliberate, consistent action. This is the trap that so many of us fall into, right? We have the desire, we know we have the potential, but we get stuck in that gap between wanting to be disciplined and actually acting disciplined. The only key that unlocks his cage is action. Not thinking about it, not planning it to death, but actually doing something.
And that first action, it doesn't have to be monumental. Just look at this example. If your goal is to start working out, maybe step one is just driving to the gym. That's it. The next day you drive there and maybe you walk inside for a lap. The day after that, you work out for just 5 minutes. It's all about building momentum, one tiny, achievable step at a time.
And this is exactly why those small steps are so important. Abstract dreams are beautiful, but they don't actually move the needle. To make a dream real, you have to break it down into goals. Goals for the year, for the month, for today, even for this very hour. Without that tactical structure, a dream just ends up becoming a source of major disappointment down the road.
Taking action is one thing, but sustaining it, day after day, week after week, especially when it gets hard, that requires something deeper. It requires mastering the one and only thing you have absolute control over, your inner world. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your inner dialogue. Your job is to be the bouncer for your own mind. You got to tune out the external critics and, even more importantly, that nagging internal critic. And you have to learn to embrace solitude. Realizing you're ultimately on your own isn't supposed to be terrifying. It's the very source of your freedom and your power.
I love this breakdown of motivation. Think of external motivation, like an inspiring video or a pep talk, as the spark. It's awesome for getting you started, but it burns out really fast. True sustainable motivation is internal. That's the fuel. And you create that fuel yourself, every single time you take action and see a little bit of progress.
And this is where that internal fuel is really made. Your character isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in those small moments when absolutely no one is watching, and you choose to keep the promise you made to yourself. That act, right there, is the most powerful evidence you can have, and it completely rewires what you believe you're capable of.
So we've talked about the pain of staying still, the process of rebuilding, the incredible power of action, and mastering our inner world. All of this, it all leads to one ultimate destination, becoming the true author of your own life.
In the very first step in authoring your own fate is to define your own terms. I mean, take the word success. Are you chasing a version that genuinely, deeply fulfills you? Or are you just chasing society's prepackaged definition without ever stopping to ask if it's what you actually want? Answering that question honestly, well, that's a revolutionary act. Because at the end of the day, this number right here is the great equalizer. You, me, Oprah, Bill Gates, we all get the same 24 hours. The only thing that separates any of us is what we choose to do with them. In every single 24-hour period, you have the choice to either make your life or break your life.
And this is the ultimate goal, isn't it? Don't just live your life, create it. Treat it like it's your masterpiece, your great work of art. Because being given this one amazing shot at life and not pouring every single ounce of yourself into it, that is the real tragedy.
So all of this leaves us with one final, unavoidable question. The time is going to pass whether you take action or not. The person you really want to become is waiting for you. So what's just one small step you can take, right now, today, to start building them?